If you love the opportunity to shoot implied motion, then why on earth do you not have the Tiffen 2 to 8 stop variable neutral density filter in your camera kit?
AdoramaTV presents You Keep Shooting with Bryan Peterson, where you'll learn unique and creative techniques that will elevate your photography skills. Here's your host, Bryan Peterson.
On a recent workshop, several of my students were elated to get started because they wanted me to know that they had purchased just prior to the workshop their neutral density filters. One had a 1-stop and a 3-stop, while the other student had a 2-stop and a 4-stop. You can imagine their somewhat dumbfounded look when I said, why would you buy separate neutral density filters when you can purchase the Tiffen 2 to 8 stop variable neutral density? They both looked at me and said, that sounds like a fantastic filter. I didn't know they made such a thing. Well, they do. I've had mine for several years, and you can get yours from my good friends at Adorama, where you know the best service exists and the lowest prices as well. The 2 to 8 stop variable neutral density filter is without question the most valuable filter in my camera kit. Second most valuable, as some of you may already know, is the Magenta FLW, also available at Adorama. This particular filter saves you time and trouble because you're not constantly digging around for an additional filter to put on to the 1-stop or the 3-stop or the 2 or the 4, blah, 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 as the case might be. It's all in one exclusive, right, or inclusive right here. The way this filter works, it has a minimum and a maximum. You turn the minimum and you go to maximum. It works in the outer ring principle, much like a polarizer. When you're at minimum, you're at 2 stops. When you're at maximum, you go all the way to 8 stops. The reason it's variable is because it wants you to have the opportunity to vary your density, because sometimes you only need 2 stops. Maybe you need 3. Sometimes you want 7. Sometimes you want all the way up to 8. It depends upon your creative decision that you're making regarding how much time do you want that shutter to stay open, because the primary purpose of the neutral density filter is to give you a longer shutter speed. That comes in handy for a lot of things, as you're about to discover. What I'm going to suggest we do now is jump in my car, we're going to go downtown Chicago, and we're going to put this filter to work in one scenario, as well as witness 3 other scenarios where this filter has come in handy too. So let's go jump in the car and let's go shooting. There's 2 roads here in downtown Chicago that have the overhead L, as we call it. That's the overhead subway train. And one of those is Wabash, the other is Lake. They're both 2 of the noisiest streets here in Chicago. They're also 2 of the most lively in terms of motion-filled opportunities, which is what I'm going to do. I've got that variable 2 to 8 stop neutral density filter on the lens here. So I've got a 1735, look through the camera, manual exposure. I'm choosing to shoot this at f11 with 100 ISO. It's a 2-second exposure that I've dialed in the neutral density filter down low enough to get that 2-second exposure. I'm not going to be using a tripod. I'm going to just be also shooting through the windshield. Make sure your windshield's clean for obvious reasons. And what we're going to do, and angle of view in this case, pretty close to about 18 millimeters on the 16 to 35. So here we go. Take a little click, 2-second exposure. I'm not concerned about anything except blurred motion. And that includes cars in the shots as they go by. It includes green lights, the street lights that are on the left side, all the neon that's on here in downtown. And okay, let's take a look and see what I came up with. Here's 3 examples, and of these 3 that turned out in my mind quite well, I prefer this one here. And take a look. F16, 2 seconds, made possible at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because of the variable 2 to 8 stop Tiffen neutral density filter. Something you really need to have in your kit. Until next time, this is Bryan Peterson saying, you keep shooting.
For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. Place your order by 8 p.m. and it ships the same day. Plus, next time you're in New York City, be sure to visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.